question I get asked a lot is sort of how do you stay motivated, right? And how do you stay committed to like your goals and all these big goals that I'm sure you all have for your life? The one thing that has really kept me sort of committed and motivated to doing a lot of things in life is this sort of concept of like a wall. Like if you imagine yourself backed up against a wall or backed up against an experience you had in your origin story that was just uncomfortable, something you don't want to experience again. The Rock, like Dwayne Johnson, he says that like for him, he talks about like getting evicted and like basically getting kicked off the island of Hawaii where him and his mom were living, in that like painful experience. And later when he had like $7 in his pocket and all this other stuff, really motivated him to build, you know, the career that we all know, right? He's the fucking Rock, right? He's huge. And for me, my first semester of college, I was living in a one-room like motel with my entire family. It was a double-bed room, but like, you know, me and my sister were sharing a bed. My parents were in the other bed. We'd just been evicted like for the second time. Actually, we were evicted twice when I was growing up. Dinner every night was, you know, a couple chicken wings that I'd pick up from Publix, and like the only thing else that we'd have to eat was whatever I would literally scrape out of the dining hall. It was up to me, you know, to grab the apples, the grapes, the bananas, you know, whatever fruits in little snack package bags that I could stuff into my book bag, you know, for my family to eat. And that's what we did for 2 months probably. And that was like, that experience sucked, I'll be honest with you. Like I didn't like it, but for me, it motivated me. I made a lot of promises to myself, and I said, you know, never again. Like I'm not gonna put myself economically, emotionally, physically in that sort of situation again. And so I fucking hustled. You know, I got the internships. I tried harder in my classes. I networked outside of classes. I got on LinkedIn, you know, and I did all this stuff to start building the life that I have now. All of what I have now in my life is from a couple of experiences like that I've just never forgotten. I've never forgotten how much it sucked to not have money, how much it sucked to not be able to do the things you wanted to do, how much it sucked to not be able to provide the life you wanted to the people you loved and that you cared about. So I think, you know, if you're having trouble getting motivated, think back to a part of your life that just sucked, that you did not like, that you do not want to relive, and let that be your motivation. Avoiding that pain, avoiding that those experiences that you just did not enjoy for you and for the people you love. So if any of you have ever wondered what the glamorous life of content creation looks like, this is it, baby. It's currently about 11:30 p.m. Kaylee's gone to sleep for 2 hours, then she has to get up and feed the baby. And where's the baby, you may ask? He's down here. He's right here, folks. And he is not asleep. He's wide awake. You don't believe me? Watch this. You have anything to say for yourself? Why can't you go to bed? It's 11:30. Your mom and dad need sleep. You don't care. You're just a baby. Just so you know, folks. Oh, I sneezed. We must get this work in. So whether it's at 11 p.m. or 5 a.m. or whenever, wherever we need to, how we need to do it, we're going to do it. Because that's what it takes. So something really exciting happened today that I just want to show you. We finally hit 200K on Instagram, 200,000 followers. I've been on Instagram for like a little over a year, so I'm really excited about that. But I wanted to show you this because if you look here, a lot of people get excited. If I zoom in here, a lot of people get excited about this 200 number, which is great, which I mean, I'm excited about it too, clearly. But look at this right here. That's 542 posts in a year. It's over 500 posts a year to get to that 200K number. This should be the minimum. I hear from people a lot, trying to build their brand on social media and trying to, just enter into this space. And what I'll say to them is it's always the same thing, right? It has to start with the output. You don't get to the 200K, you don't get to the 100K, you don't get to the 10K without putting in the time and really being consistent, maniacally consistent with the videos you put out. This week, I'm headed to 2 events. Early in the week, I'm headed to something called the Influencer Marketing Show, which is a really cool opportunity. It's kind of like a influencer creator networking event. There'll be a lot of brands there, which will be nice. There'll also be a lot of marketing agencies, which is oftentimes how I'm connected to brands through the specific campaigns they're running, which will be really nice. And later this week, I'll be headed to New York City Tech Week. A lot of people ask me, how do I find cool events to go to, or how do I find, things to do in the city? Some of this is New York privilege. Like New York City in general has a lot more going on, I think, than probably most places in the country, in the world, maybe. But I think, wherever you are, especially if you're in New York, there probably is a newsletter or a couple Twitter accounts, a Substack, a Medium page. Like someone out there is compiling and collecting really cool events. So you want to find out who that person is. I don't really have a strategy for this. You just have to search, Milwaukee events, Chicago events, Atlanta events, and just find the people who are keeping track of, cool things to do in your city. And then the second thing to remember is interesting people go to interesting events. It should be a chain effect, right? If you make it to one of these events, ideally you meet one person, 2 people, 3 people that are going to something else that weekend or something else, the next week. And so you want to start chaining together, your network and the events you go to. Got a lot of events to go to, and I'm going to be meeting a lot of really cool, interesting people, hopefully. And so I just spent the last couple minutes here, I'll show you, creating this really simple kind of website on Framer. Like it was completely free, whipped this up in about 5 minutes. And then I made a phone background that's got the QR code. And so now literally anyone I meet, if they scan that QR code, it'll literally go to this website, which I've got here. I'll put that in focus right there. So literally this is something I do pretty much anytime I've got a lot of networking to do, and it's really, really simple. It really makes you stand out and just makes it easy for people to connect with you. Best way to become a better networker is to network more frequently. It's all about the reps. I'm probably gonna have a couple awkward first encounters, but you wanna rush into those. That should honestly be your goal, is to have an awkward exchange as quickly as you can, because the next one after that will be a little bit better. The next one after that will be a little bit better. And then before you know it, you're gelling, you're mixing, you're mingling. It's good, it's natural, but you have to get the lactic acid out of your system. You gotta put the reps in. Dumb to give career advice while on the back of a moving bicycle in the middle of New York City, but I don't know, I may not be that smart of a guy. If you're an intern, if you're a college student, honestly, and you want a little bit of extra help, a little bit of coaching from myself, join my community. It's 99 bucks, it's like 25 bucks a week. You're gonna spend that much money if you're in New York City on lunch anyways. Join my community, link is in the description wherever you're seeing this video. It's gonna be amazing. Get coached by me all summer long, baby. Something that is so important when you come back from some of these networking events is to follow up. I can't tell you how many connections, how many amazing people that I've met that I'll probably never interact with again because I didn't follow up with them either late that night or early that next morning. Make sure you're actually connecting with that person. You're sending them a small, very short message about what you talked about, why you're excited to have them as a connection, and just keep the conversation moving. You will lose the connection. You will forget what resonated about you and that person's conversation, and life will get busy. Something else will come up, right? You'll get distracted. I know I have plenty of times. So make sure that you're not only having conversations with people at these networking events, but you're following up. You're keeping the conversation moving. If nothing else, just to say, hey, I enjoyed talking to you. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you at whatever future event, or just in the future if we ever run into each other, right? Just don't overthink it, but you will lose the connection if you don't follow up. Anyways, happy Tuesday. Got my coffee. It's gonna be a great day. One thing that I disagree with a lot of times with people on is, I think in this new, the digital, technologically advanced world we find ourselves in, a lot of people, I think, discount the amount of things that truly only happen in person or are greatly advanced or accelerated based on in-person interactions. In your industry, there probably exist situations where, yes, it can be done online. Yes, there's a form, maybe there's a video or a tutorial somewhere, but you'll probably get a better result. You'll probably make a better impact if you can figure out a way to have that interaction, or to do that process in part, in person, in the flesh, face to face with another human being. So the final event I'm going to this week is one I'm really excited about, and it is called Techpalooza. This is the part of New York City Tech Week, really the capstone, one of the main events going on that I'm super, super excited about. And I think it's a prime example of something I say a lot to people when it comes to finding exciting events in the city. Interesting people hold and go to interesting events. And so if you're just getting started in your city, follow people on Twitter, sign up for maybe a newsletter or two, look up people on LinkedIn that are in your industry that seem to be always going to interesting events, and reach out to them and see how they're getting involved. It takes a little bit of legwork, but once you do that setup, it's actually quite easy and quite simple time and time again to get invited, or at least be aware of what's going on in your city. But first, before that, I'm also going to be heading to a launch event for Hoka shoes. I love their shoes. They're so soft and bouncy, and they've really made me fall in love with running again. After I ran the New York City Marathon, my feet, my legs, my body was shot. But really wearing Hoka shoes is reinvigorated for me, just the enjoyment of running. And so they're launching a brand new flagship in Midtown. I'm going to check that out first, and then I'll head over to Techpalooza.